Hey everybody, it's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What a Ice Radio. It is Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And we are here.
We're invading your eardrums.
Yes, we are. And we are excited to be here because...
Why?
I don't know, because it's Lauren Rei Live.
That's and we got great guests as always.
Yes, we always have a great guest. We have a really, really good one tonight. But before we introduce her and give a little intro, let's go ahead and take care of some business. First of all, Jay, how are you?
I'm chilling, man. I'm good with winter. Like, I'm good. We get it.
I've been over winter. I was over winter in January.
We get it. Monday too. You got that.
You won.
You won.
Good. All right, guys. So tonight we have a really special guest. Her name is Junae Brown. She's here all the way from New York. I had the pleasure of sitting on a panel with her not too long ago, and I was like, oh, she should definitely come on the show. She's really interesting. She's a really good light. She has a really good story, and she also has a business called Brown to Perfection. She is a branding and marketing and specialist, and she also throws a lot of dope ass events.
I'm excited.
So we have her on the show. She's gonna tell us how she got her start. She's gonna give us some tips. We're gonna really jump into it with her when she gets on.
Bet.
All right. So tonight, our playlist. We have all songs tonight that not start with there, but have the letter. The focus of the song is the letter B.
Like the artist.
Like the artist basically has a B in their name.
Right.
Right. Because we have Brown to Perfection on the show. So I'm first.
Okay.
We have the king of R&B.
Self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed king of R&B. Shout out to my boy Mike Dion from the.
That's his boy.
Oh
man.
yeah, he loves some Bobby Brown for sure. So
I mean, I like Bobby Brown, but he ain't the king of R&B. I got it. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, we're gonna start out with that. We're gonna start out with Bobby Brown with Brony.
Okay.
All right.
That's a good song. That album is good though. It's
the
great.
whole album is good.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Is that Every Little Step I Take on the album?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good album.
Yeah, his album's dope.
It's a great album. All right, you guys. So it's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What a Ice Radio. Let's get to it.
Okie dokie. That's why.
That's crazy. All right, so we are back, everybody. It is time for the Lauren Rei Live. Let's talk about a topic of the hour. And tonight we have a beautiful young lady here. Her name is Junae Brown. She is the founder and the owner of Brown to Perfection. She is a brand. I'm sorry, I just messed it up all over again. She's a brand manager and a marketing expert, I would say. Guru, right?
Yeah.
Trying to take over.
NYC? From NYC?
Yeah. She is from New York, and she came all the way down here to be with us tonight. So everybody, Junae Brown. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you. Excited to be here. I'm from Harlem, actually.
Okay.
Harlem in the building.
Yeah, we try. Yeah, born and raised in Harlem. I've lived in New York my entire life. Went to college in Long Island, but that's about as far as I've lived. I've traveled around the States, but New York girl.
New York girl.
That's what's up. We got another New York girl.
New York girl. She goes to Temple right now. So I had the pleasure of sitting on a panel with you a little while back. Sincerely Jasmine, shout out. She's a member
That's
of
right. You said that to me before. That's right. Yeah.
Listen to me, Junae.
I know. I was like, wait, I met you. Yeah.
It was the Boss's Brunch, and I got to speak with her, and I'm like, this girl has to come onto the show. She has a really, really dope story. So I was like, yep, let's get it together. But unfortunately, you had to come over down here, but we appreciate you coming.
No, that's fine. I like the opportunity to travel, and there's like I was telling you guys off there, like there's so many people in Philly that I get to connect with when they come to New York, but I haven't been able to like come down here. Yeah, so it was perfect actually because I've been meaning to come down here to do something.
There you go.
People like to party in New York. I'm one of those people who everyone's like, well, Lauren, you gotta get to New York. It's a different type of scene.
But
I have a party
you
there.
go to sleep at 10, so it's like, how you go to sleep at 10?
I didn't need you to do that tonight.
Oh man.
How you're fraud. Come on, dude.
Yes, everyone knows I'm a grandma, and yes, I do like to be in bed. But
she be at the brunch parties though. So.
I will do a day party. I can drink all day, and then by like 8:30,
that's it.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I will do a day party.
We've done day parties before, so we can work that, especially when it gets warm.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
So let's start it off. Let's talk about how you got your start.
So, that's so hard for me, this question, because I don't know, music's been a part of my life my whole life, essentially. My grandpa was a pastor, so being in church, they had me singing in front of people since I was like 3.
Okay.
So I think that's where the love of it started. I've always kind of been, my mom, everybody in my family is artsy as it is. So it's always a lot of music, a lot of performing arts, stuff like that going on. And so music was a thing. I was always singing or in some sort of production, play, whatever, growing up. And then when it came time for like high school, I went to performing arts high school.
Okay.
And so I was still singing. And then when it was time for college, I stumbled across a 5 Times College, which is like a music school essentially, but they also have a music business program. So we pretty much learn everything that happens in the music business, and you gotta pick what you want to do. I was still a singing major at first, a music major, and I was minoring in the business part. And I fell in love with the business aspect. And I was like, I don't need anybody teaching me how to sing. I've been singing my whole life. And I kind of started getting interested in more of the behind the scenes stuff. So from there, I did a lot of stuff in college, just always, hosting and throwing events. That was my thing. And then I got an internship. Well, I was interned since I was probably like 15, 16.
Okay.
Startups, always marketing, branding, working with artists, putting together shows, a DJ company, management company, whatever I could get my hands on, I was always that type of girl. I want to learn. So then my first major internship was with Sony Music.
That's huge.
Yeah, that was great. A great opportunity for me to see things, from the inside. I, kind of develop industry mentors, but it's like being in the office and really seeing how they move. So that was great.
So what were you doing there?
So I was a marketing intern at RCA Records, and so at first, they kind of were showing us the ropes with stuff.
Would you get in cheesecake and stuff? They make y'all walk the beach?
No, but I did have to order food. And sometimes we might have to go to Uber.
Wow.
Hit the road, hit the pavement. I mean, we were in the city, so it wasn't that bad. If it was super far, they'd send us in a cab or something, but for the most part, it was cool. But yeah, definitely making sure the artists were set when it came to the office. If there was a listening event, helping whoever the marketing coordinator was set that up. I started, working on one sheet, so that's when the artists, whenever they're gonna pitch to a brand or anybody that's interested, designing that, then they found that I was really good at those, and they didn't stop.
Oh, okay.
Then they're like, take the whole roster. I'm like, okay, but I loved it. And
how long were you at Sony?
Interning, I interned for the spring semester. Actually, the spring semester. It's crazy. I was supposed to intern in the fall, but something happened, and I was upset about it. But spring was better anyway because you were more likely to get hired. I was graduating, but then I broke my ankle 3 weeks before graduation. I'm hysterical because I'm like, I'm not gonna get a job now. But one thing I tell people now, students especially, I was building relationships with people. So I wasn't just an intern. I wasn't just doing what I had to do and going home. I was going above and beyond, going extra, doing what I had to do, and also so my supervisor, of course, was like, you know what are you trying to do after this? Okay, let me start linking you with people in HR. Let's just start building that relationship, setting up meetings and things like that. And so I broke my ankle. I was distraught. I was at, it's crazy. This is going to sound like it was so fun, but I was at an event, but I honestly wasn't even partying, dancing. But I wish I was bungee jumping. Basically, I slipped, super corny. I was trying to have my friend pick up his stuff out of his wallet and
trying to be nice.
I learned, sometimes you can't.
You got that.
Right. Yeah, that's a gem right there. It can always be nice. So I fell, broke my ankle, and I was so distraught, damn. And they were like, oh, just come back when you can walk.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
Right.
So you had
to
a real, so they actually end up hiring you.
Yeah, well, not at first.
Okay.
I had to come back and intern. They were like, come back and intern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we'll see.
That's why they always one sheet.
I thought I broke my ankle.
Yes. But I was excited. As soon as I could get in a cam boot, I don't know if anybody knows what that looks like. It's after crutches. There's a big...
Oh, the big leg. Yeah.
The second I got in a cam boot, I was limping.
But you were there.
I was there. They were like, would you sit down? I was like, no.
Yeah.
Up, down. They're like, we can go to the Prince. I was like, no. Up, down. Like, I really was busting my ass. And then
that hustle.
Yeah. I would say, like, whenever I'm in a space where I feel a little uninspired, unmotivated, I try to, like, tap into that space. Like, imagine yourself in the can booth.
I would have made a hover round.
Scooter or something, right?
Beep,
I didn't have none of that. And it was summer. It was hot. Yeah, it was a lot. But I made it through. And then eventually I landed a gig at Columbia Records.
Cool.
Nice.
And that was great. I was working with the CFO. So he handled finance, but also operations. So how the entire label functioned.
Wow.
And all the marketing budgets.
Right.
So it ended up being like I learned so much from like all the record deals, you know, they had to go through my hands first.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was a good seat to be in.
More zero.
It was so it was a really good seat to be in, and then but I needed more like urban. And at the time, Columbia's roster was a super urban. They tried to get me to stay and kind of figure out what I could, you know, not to leave.
Yeah.
Even though I was going downstairs.
what were some of the artists that were there that you?
Columbia. Well, Columbia has Beyonce. They had J. Cole at the time.
Right.
They had T.I. at the time.
Yep.
AC/DC, Adele, Pharrell.
Right.
Like they have a lot of big legendary artists. Or even when they released their
That
new
wasn't urban
artists.
enough for you?
No, because I needed urban, like, also the way sometimes labels work is those bigger artists like Beyonce, Pharrell, and them, they have their own labels also that do mostly everything.
Right.
Okay.
So then so the major aspect is not really hands-on creative, that part.
Got you.
So it was like, I need more of a roster.
It's more like for them they use like Columbia like as a distribution sort of more so? Or?
Sort of. I mean, Columbia does stuff, so the bigger label does things and does creative aspects, but as far as hands-on marketing experience that I wanted like more of a, like, I could really like learn from a certain seat.
Right.
And also you gotta think about who's active.
Right.
Because you can have an artist on your label, but that doesn't mean that they're working on him at the time.
Right,
So it could be
true.
2 years before I get to work on Beyonce. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, I'm young, I'm fresh out the gate. There was something open at RCA. They hit me up like, hey, what you doing? I'm
Right.
upstairs, but
Right.
hey, big head, hey, big head, right?
Right.
It was a hey, big head text. They're like, you want to try to come back to the hood? Okay.
Bring you back.
Yeah, so I ended up taking my old supervisor, who I used to intern for, I ended up taking his position.
Okay.
He was moving over into a different department. And so, yeah, it was a great experience. I learned so much. On RCA, I got to work on, like, Chris Brown, Jasmine Sullivan,
Philly's on.
ASAP, right? Philly's on. ASAP Mob, that was dope. Yeah, a lot of people like G-Eazy, they have Gold Link, they have everybody. Like R. Kelly's on there.
Just trifling ass.
Right, he got a lot going on.
Show ratchet ass.
He got a lot going on. Mikkel's is on there. Tinashe. Trying to think of the artists that I got to like directly work on. Monica. Like there's a lot of like dope artists on there, and the people that I was working with and for have such an extensive history in the game.
Sure.
Like D'Angelo, like they've been working in this for like 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted,
Right.
heart, but I learned a lot. Like that's what I had needed.
Cool. So what we're gonna do is take a quick break, and then we're gonna fast forward to you and
What we're doing
and
now.
Yeah,
exactly.
good stuff.
Good
Okay.
stuff, right? All right. So next up is my pick. This is Mr. Chris Brown.
Speaking of Chris Brown.
Oh,
Chris Brown. And this is this is young Chris. So this is Yo. Excuse
This is
me.
the innocent Chris.
Yes, innocent Chris.
Classic.
Remember he had
In the shoe
the
store?
the shoe store. You know who that girl is in the video? It's Erica Mena. His love interest is Erica Mena.
Wow.
Her trifling ass. Ratchet ass.
She was a little innocent there, but
Yeah.
ratchet ass. All right, everybody, it's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What I Asked For You. I got my girl Junae Brown in the building with me. Jay the Gentleman is here.
You sound like an artist. Like your name.
Yeah, dude,
Junae Brown sounds like an artist. She's like,
Mommy, like, you know, if you want to, you still could. I'm like, miss. I'm alright.
Get some writing credits or something?
Writing, I still do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We're going to talk about
We'll talk about it. All right, we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back, and we are into the Lauren Rei Live, let's talk about a topic of the hour. And we have Miss Junae Brown here. She is the owner and the founder of Brown to Perfection. And she is just about to tell us how she started her business because she was, you were doing big things at RCA. What made you step out? I love you. You know?
So, funny how things work out. I was so excited to get there and do things, and it was great. It really was. But I think that I am a very hands-on kind of person, and you can't really ever tell how the climate is going to be. And it was kind of a situation where I was hired to be creative, but the way the structure of the company was set up, there wasn't really any room for me to do that after a while. So it became a lot of more so grunt work. And I realized that the most joy I was getting was when I was putting together the release events, so the artist listening events and stuff like that.
I've been a part of those.
They're so fun, right? And so that was my favorite part, figuring out the budgets for that. And so I started to get a little, I think I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't waking up and excited to go there and do stuff. It became kind of mundane and routine, and I think that it kind of showed. And I think that they didn't need somebody at the moment to be super creative. They're that'll happen, but right now
we're good.
And they had a lot of structural changes happen. That's another label thing. This person got let go. Everybody else got to do this job. Right? Not hiring nobody else. But so there's a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah, a lot going on. So
you may not have a job tomorrow.
All types of stuff be going on. I also remember, processing invoices for people who do what I love to do. The act is we're paying other people to do the hands-on stuff that I should be doing or I want to be doing, but I'm here processing the invoice. Right. And so I'm these people are making a lot of money. And once I did a couple calculations, I was they're actually making more money than me by being on their own. I'm sure it's more work, but I was honestly, the passion part of it, I think I would be happier.
And the payout.
Right. So, essentially, I just decided that I've always wanted to take and have, how I could take the things that I know from the label and bring it out to people who may not have access to that space or people in those spaces. And also people in those spaces aren't really always open to sharing. Because there's a lot of things that you can do yourself or can do to get you to the level where they're we want to bring you on. And so then my goal just became to do everything that I was doing there or was supposed to be doing there, but doing it on my own.
Write down some of these gems she's giving y'all today.
Are you doing it for free?
Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is Lauren Rei right here on the Lauren Rei Live Show on What I Ask Radio, and that was BD Siegel with The Truth. Shout out to Philly right there. And we are going to go right back into our interview with Junae Brown. She is the owner of Brown to Perfection.
Dropping gems, she dropped that PE.
All right. So right before the break, I gave you an example of someone like myself 3 years ago starting the Lauren Rei Live Show and saying, hey, I need branding done. Love for you to be my brand manager, but have no idea what I'm doing. What are some of the steps that you would actually go with that particular client that you have?
First, I always like to do a brief call. I know sometimes some people are calls can be so tedious, but I feel like it's important. I'm not in the business. I was having this conversation earlier today with another person who works in marketing. It's I'm just not in the business of just taking your money and kind of giving you a cookie cutter kind of thing and you go on your way. I really believe that every client is different. So I like to talk to the person and kind of see where your head is at, what do you have so far, what your goals are. Before we get on the phone, I usually check all your stuff, whether it's your socials, your analytics, see what's up, what's going on. And not that I, do it to say, oh, you have this many followers or whatever. I'll work with you, but I want to see what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
What you're already doing. So, okay, what we need to do if we move forward. And I kind of ask them what their goals are, get a gist of what's the purpose behind it, what's the reason, what they're about, and then from there, I kind of if it's something where I feel like I can help you, and it makes sense, then we kind of hit the ground running. As far as if you're just coming and you just have the product or the content, based off of what I get from it and what you say your goals are and how you want to see yourself, whether it's other people that inspire you or other platforms that inspire you, or what the angle is, then I'm like, okay, how are we going to build around this now? So again, it's back to that, what do you have already? And now let's build around it. You know what I mean? Just adding to the pot, not, starting from super duper scratch.
What would you say is like the most difficult thing when working with someone? Like, is it like they kind of have an idea and they're trying to push ideas onto you, or what would you say like is like the hardest thing when you're working with a new client?
So to keep it real with y'all, the hardest thing working with a new client is normally, depending on what they need, if they have depending on what they need, if they have a team in place or them just following the plan. Also, I mean, essentially, depending on who's coming to you, it could be budget also, because that's another thing. I want to help people as much as I can. That's why, though, now, especially this year, I'm giving a lot of free resources and trying to create different environments and rooms where people can get stuff that I may not be able to commit to on your project full time, or you may not be ready for that. Right. But here's a bunch of other stuff you could do, and then
get to that point. Right?
Get to that point, or just build up yourself. You don't got to work for me. Work for somebody else. You can maybe blow up.
Yeah.
But I want to do as much as I can. So sometimes it's budget, or if it's not budget, the team aspect, because essentially, like, I'm coming up with the marketing plan. I'm coming up with the rollout. There's certain stuff that I have to execute, but I'm not your manager, you know what I mean? Like, I'm your brand manager, your marketing manager, but I can't make you.
They're like, can you make these calls for me?
Yeah, I got other clients, you know what I mean? Like, so I would say that's probably one of the biggest things. And also just getting people to follow the formula. It's like you come up with, it's like the plan is great, you all excited, but you gotta, if you get all the resources in the world, if you're not disciplined and you're not following the plan, it ain't gonna work. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a magician. You have to actually like follow the instructions. So I would say that, and being consistent. Because I can dress you up, dock you up as much as I want, but if you don't continue and really carry through, then it's kind of pointless.
So turning back on you, how did you figure out what your brand was? How did you figure out that what Brown to Perfection was one, like, brand for that?
My last name is Brown.
Okay.
For real. People ask me that too. They're like, is your last name really Brown? I'm like, yeah, that's pretty weird.
Last name.
Yeah, like, that was kind of strange, but I get it. I came up with that one day. I don't know. I'm like, they used to call me like an idea machine when I was like at the label. Like, I just pump them out. Like, you could put a remote in front of me and I'll give you like 10 things, a commercial, a rollout, how we gonna switch it up, color scheme. Like, I'm crazy like that. I don't know. So I was sitting around and I don't know, I was just going up. I think it's when I was still in the blog phase, thinking I was gonna have a site and everything, and ads and stuff. And so I was like, oh, Brown Perfection. And I like the fact that it kind of embodies like my mindset. I don't believe in the idea that there's such thing as perfect, but I do believe I'm always striving for perfection, if that makes sense. Yeah. So being the best you. So whatever it is I'm doing, I'm gonna give it my best shot consistently. Right. And that's not even in work. That's also like in life, like as a person. I spend a lot of time like trying to be the best version of me, and like, really like elevating and working on who because I feel like whoever you are as a person definitely is going to be showcased in everything that you do. Right. You're not right. Mostly you could probably get by for a while, but something goes left eventually. So yeah, it was kind of that whole mantra, becoming the best version of yourself. And I kind of started attaching it to things. Like if I would go somewhere, I saw something dope, or if I went somewhere and I met a dope person, if I took a picture, I would hashtag it Brown to Perfection. Like, so everything we doing is Brown to Perfection. And it's kind of the idea too, like when you're browning something, like actually cooking, it's like so many meetings in this thing. It's like, oh, it's never really perfect. Nobody can show you. If you ask somebody like to cook something to perfect the perfect, like there's no such thing. It's just, all right, I got it right, or you didn't, right, kind of thing. So it's like everything is, brown to perfection. Also, being a woman of color, it's like we brown. So, and I wanted to also highlight the fact that like we have so many dope things going on. I feel like we've come so far, people of color in general, but there's still so many spaces that we aren't in.
Sure.
Or people don't give us the looks that we deserve, kind of thing. So it's just all about being, the best.
I'm glad you said that because I was just talking to my brother actually about this, that women of color are now the top educated demographic in the country.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that it kind of, I guess, took so long for us to, be put out on the forefront that, hey, well, we're not just a pretty face, but we're also educated, we're smart, and we can take over kind of thing.
I mean, I think there's so many reasons why that happened.
So do I.
There's so many reasons. Yeah, down from like.
Okay, so let me switch that question then. Why do you think right now is our time?
I think right now is our time because we made it our time. I think that women of color everywhere, I think that we definitely got tired of just like, listen, like you said, like we're more than a pretty face. I'm more than, this. I'm more than just this position, that position. I'm more than just the assistant. I'm more than, you know what I mean? Like I'm more than just a nanny. I'm more than this. And there's nothing wrong with those positions, but I feel like for a long time, people can only see you in a certain light, in a certain space. And I think it was a push. So we were like, okay, cool. I'm going to get my degree. Tell me something now. Okay, cool. I'm going to intern my way up. Tell me something now. Cool. I'm an executive. Now I'm at the table now. What do I have my own business. What are you telling me now? You're not going to tell me no. You know what I mean? I think that's the mindset. And I love it because it's like the further we go, the generations we go, it gets I don't want to say easier, but I think there's more gates left open a little bit. And so I think that the kids coming up now, especially young girls, like they have a whole different level of confidence, a whole different level of foresight where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be that. Of course I could be that. I see a bunch of other people like that. And that didn't really exist before. You know what I mean? Like the blueprint wasn't always there or allowed to be there. So I think that's why it's our time. We're also the biggest, what do you call it? Like marketing consumer. If you want to sell, if you want to know something's going to sell, like the census, they did a whole thing. Like, and if you want to know something's going to sell, if something's cool or not, ask the black woman. We not always buy the most, but we going to tell you, we get free reviews. We going to talk about it. We going to tell somebody, girl, or you going to ask, where you get that? I will tell you, they going to give you the real, like, how is it, the good stuff, the bad stuff, everything. So I actually have a saying, like, if you're not marketing to a black woman, you're not marketing at all.
Study group.
What you doing?
You're not doing nothing yet. So how important is it for us, or how do you feel like black women should keep the momentum going? What is it going to take?
Love this question. Passing the baton. I think there's this element of,
crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, it's all very crabs in a barrel because it took me so long, and especially like being in the entertainment industry is a lot of that because there's people have a chip on their shoulder, men and women. Like I had to walk across the bridge to get cheesecake, and you ain't gonna just come in here and think like, yeah, you're doing the work, but I had to really. It's like, it's kind of like hazing a little bit. It gets a little scary, like, am I pledging? But I think it's about passing the baton for real and not being so competitive with each other. It's crazy. I was thinking about this, like, let's go first of all, I was in the shower thinking about this the other day, and I was just like, the best time to think, right? So I was thinking, and I was just like, people are so scared to like even not forget passing the baton to somebody younger than you or behind you.
Right.
They don't want to pass it to somebody next to you.
That is so
like. Do you understand though that if one of us it's just like female rap. It can only be one. No, there can be however many.
Several. All
it takes is the person who actually gets in the space, opening up open up the windows and the doors a little bit. You know what I mean? If you're really good at what you do, nobody can take that from you. Like nobody. Right. Whatever's for you, it's for you. Period. Right. And if you're really that good at what you do, it shouldn't bother you to. I always say like nobody wants to do what I do. My vision is very extensive. So, okay, I have a bunch of people who also do marketing, also do events, also do stuff. And I'm like, if I got a resource, hey girl, here, or I saw something that I actually wouldn't be interested in, but I know you would like it. This is more up your alley. Here you go. Like, so if you land something dope, I'm so grateful for the women I do have in this industry industry who are like that, who are like, look, I'm really good
That's
at
a blessing.
partnerships
Yeah.
with the boring stuff. Can you please come be creative on this project with me? And we get a bag. You know what I'm saying? And it
We
takes
all
nothing.
eat.
It takes nothing from me. Nothing from me. We might get a bigger bag because now it's two of us, so they got to feed both of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's about really passing the baton, one, and also not being so afraid to or so competitive amongst each other. I think if we help each other way more, it would be more like, okay, cool. One of us, all it takes is one or a couple of us to get to a certain level. And then everybody's kind of good, because regardless of whether maybe you don't even got to reach down and help her get there, but somebody else can say, okay, it can be done. Okay, now I trust Black women.
Come on, y'all, there's a lot of money to be made.
Okay, cool. So then when the next woman is pitching something that she got going on, they're like, okay, I've seen this person do it. I've seen that worked for that company. So, okay, cool.
Right.
We can do that. So that's
Great
my
stuff.
take on it.
I appreciate that, because, you know, I think just women in general, you know, I do think, and listen, I'm a Black woman, I love us, but I think sometimes that sense of competition is so strong that we sometimes can't even be in the room together and
That's crazy.
and not can't speak.
Can't speak.
It's the
Just all looking up and down.
and listen, and I have fallen victim to that. But not thinking, not because I'm not nice or a mean girl, but because I don't know what the perception, what the perspective of that other Black woman sitting across the table is going to think of me, or is she going to play me? Like, and then like you said, it's the defensive, and I think
stare downs,
and it really is. I think the fact that we don't get certain opportunities a lot, like we've been kind of forced into a corner, and it's like a cattiness corner, and so it's like everybody's so busy, like it's a competing, like everybody's so busy trying to be the best, or I'm the one, like da-da-da. So now it's like I'm throwing shade at you. I think you trying to like undermine me, or I think you trying to steal my spot, and I'm like, what spot?
Yeah.
And then
Let us have the spot. So what are we really?
And what is it?
Crazy.
And then it's not good that how we're depicted in the entertainment and on TV and stuff like that.
So they're expecting that.
All we do is shade each other and all this stuff like that. Like, so
Shout out to your favorite shows.
And I'm good, I like a little shade. You know what I mean? I'm a little shade, but not like mean, vindictive shade. I like a little shade, but not like, I feel like it's a difference
like a cut deep shade.
Yeah, some people really get serious. Like, like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I cut your tie so you could meet. You get to that meeting.
Yes.
Like, what?
Today, like, I want to put my glasses halfway on.
I'm gonna sip an extra sip of water. I feed you water.
You eat a palm tree.
I might swing my scarf around. But damn, I'm not gonna really and I think that it's crazy because
swing my scarf around.
I'm really kind, right? Like I used to say I'm nice. My mom thinks I'm kind. She doesn't think I'm that nice.
You're kind.
But yeah, I'm
That's
kind.
funny.
And I think I'm pretty friendly.
Right.
I grew up though essentially like with my 3 boy cousins, so I think I always kind of got along with men a little easier. And honestly, guys be chilling for the most part. It'd be some ego, but
they do.
It's so short term.
Yes, it's like real quick.
No, all right,
and
so
it's
get a
like
beer.
you know what I mean? Like the best man win is a real thing with y'all.
Right.
Like with women, it's a little different. And I always had like my core group of like female friends. But as I got older, obviously like a lot of times it's really just an extension because the way you're feeling, that woman feels exactly
the way.
And
until you had
when
that conversation, open it up to the floor.
And there's been women who've been like, I'm so happy you came up to me and said,
And you're
I'm so happy.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
that's why
that's important.
like the boss brunch that Jasmine did was so important,
Right.
because we tend to think that we can't talk to each other in those type of social environments. But it was an opportunity for us to be like, here's my card, here's my
But
card.
it's crazy because like y'all have y'all have so much in common. You would think like off the rip, like
it's
come
crazy.
on, like.
And when women get in the room, like one of my favorite events, or some of my favorite events I've been to have been all women. It's amazing what happens when women all get in a space together. Like all female spaces, comfortable spaces, like it's crazy.
It's powerful.
Like it's super powerful. And if we did that more often, like we'd be so unstoppable. Like we make the world run anyway, separately. If we linked up more, like it'd be no telling. Like we'd be the biggest, strongest army in the world.
There you go. That's the perfect time for a break, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so when we come back, we want to talk a little bit about what you have going on.
I want to know some like ratchet shit.
Some stuff you've seen before, but you ought to know
You can throw some parties.
Yeah.
So let's go into that.
All right,
That's
so
on my platform as well.
cool. So where can our listeners and followers find you?
You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Junae Brown, Junae, Brown like the color. And you can find my agency stuff at B2P, so B the number 2P agency.
Nice.
Simple.
Yeah.
And last question for me: when are we gonna see you write and perform your own music?
Ooh, what? I've been waiting a long time. Well, I'm still writing, and I actually have a lot of people that know I write in the industry have been poking me like, okay, what's up?
A little bag.
Doing. So I definitely will be, or have been writing more this year, and will be doing more of that. So there may or may not be
Earn them points,
something
girl.
that I don't want to sing on it, but there'll be something out there. Or I might just be like, I get a placement, I'll just be like, so go listen to this.
Right.
I like that. I like that.
But yeah.
That's
All right,
what's up.
cool. So again, Janae, thank you so much
Absolute
for being
pleasure.
here.
Thank you guys for having me. This was so much fun. This is definitely one of my favorite interviews.
Oh,
Thank you.
you're here first.
Yeah, with the good questions, have fun. You know.
We definitely like to have fun. But we always say here the first time you are a visitor, the next time you are family. So make sure you come by again, especially when you throw something in Philly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We definitely want to be a part
Put
of
you
that.
on the
Be
news,
there.
on the newsstand
Fans
screens
around
out
here.
here.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, this
That's
show is
awesome.
going to be on all the newsstands in Philadelphia. So when we get it up there, I'll send it to you.
Awesome.
as
Okay,
well.
cool.
All right, guys. So that is it.
That's it.
That's the Lauren Rei Live Show for March 6, 2018.
Welcome
We
to
will
March.
be back next week.
Yes.
We do have a guest.
Yes.
I'm not sure who it is.
Rashida.
Yes!
Fancy.
Yes!
Yep.
The month
It's all
just
never
started.
fun. Yes, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a very, very cool show. She's had a lot happen in the last couple of years. Very cool story.
She's fun. I follow her on IG.
Yeah, her daughter's the trip, so it's
It's
very
going to be a good time. So
Yeah.
make sure you guys are back here Tuesday night, Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Yep, that's the time that we definitely air. Guys, in Philly, be safe tomorrow. Don't be out on the streets in the snow if you don't have to. Stay in. Don't get anybody pregnant, but stay in and just, have a good Netflix and chill day. All right?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Never forget, not all superheroes wear capes. Sometimes they wear headphones.
Peace, y'all.